Hey, it's Nitro Turbo here. I'm Zack, and a little while ago, I recorded a commentary video where I was discussing a little bit of the Forsaken Sword Legacies, and it seemed to go down pretty well in the fan base. So Noah made a poll, of which like 2 people responded, asking if they wanted me to do another one of these. And I thought, well, hey, even if like no one responded to the poll, these are still fun to make. So this time around, we're going to be going over some of the games that I've made that are not a part of the main Forsaken Sword Legacy series. And we're going to be starting off in a place that you might not have expected. The Tales of the Forsaken Sword. This was the game that preceded the Forsaken Sword Legacies. I made this around, I believe, 2011 to 2013, and I eventually stopped updating it and decided to reboot it instead. But I can't tell you why I put the Illumina and Darkheart as part of the like opening intro animation, but yeah. So this is the Tales of the Forsaken Sword with all of its glorious heavy fog. You'll find out that I kind of hate this game. In the first behind-the-scenes video, I talked about an unused AFK room that I somehow left over in FSL 1. Well, here it is again, and the Tales of the Forsaken Sword, except this one was actually functional, because we have a teleport to AFK room here, this button, and a button for teleporting back. And I believe, when you click the teleport to AFK room, it would actually place a part where you last were down here in this very foggy map. It would place a part where you last were before teleporting you up here, and then when you click teleport back, it would send you back there. In fact, I'm actually very curious to see. I want to look at the code of this. Okay, so this is the 2 frame. Yeah, again, some like depreciated things here, but yeah, yeah, player name is last spot. Wow, I actually knew how to do that back in the day. That's impressive. But it would place a part where your torso was. Again, this is before humanoid root parts were a thing. And then, nice. I knew what I was doing at least, so awesome. But, you can see why I did not include this in FSL 1. It meant you could just leave boss fights and, you know, break the game, because, FSL 1 boss fights are scripted. These ones were not. Now, one running theme you'll find in this video is that I was kind of a fanboy for, certain things. As you can see over here, PewDiePie! In other words, the old PewDiePie that, like, glorified Stefano and hated barrels. Not whatever the new PewDiePie is. No hate on him.
What a fucking
But, man, was I quite the fanboy. And, you know, I think this kind of needs to stay out of the series. But, I remember I had the dialogue of him saying something like, I hate barrels, kill barrels for me, but the barrels can only be killed by a golden sword. And you might be wondering, okay, well, where are you gonna get a golden sword? From Sky Does Minecraft, of course! Screw me. Screw me. I mean, hey, he had some good videos back in the day. It's a shame he fell off, but, yeah, yet again, another, Minecraft area. You remember, like, FSL 2 once had a Minecraft area, but I removed it. But I never actually removed it here because I stopped updating this game, long before the textures are copyrighted. But, you know, look at these short-ass stubby zombies. And, you would actually get, like, a golden sword from them, and then it would be the only weapon you could use to kill these barrels over here. And then I think you would get Stefano. Holy crap, it is pitch black in here. You would get Stefano from killing this barrel here. I need to do this here. It's not even anything different with this barrel here. It's just... What was I thinking? Oh, fuck me, there was a Jeff the Killer quest as well. His face is gone, though. Okay, I didn't realize that. Honestly, this would have been more terrifying if I saw this in the middle of the night than that photoshopped face, which is apparently of a Japanese woman, so, interesting. You would get his knife from this knucklehead over here. Oh, and sweet mother of pearl, this is the one part I hate the most in the whole game. The fact that I basically made a girl that's like, I got dumped by my boyfriend, go kill him. And then you would go over here to him, and you'd be like, yo, you suck. And then he challenges you to a fight. So, wait a second, where was, here it is. So, this is where the boss fight would take place. And, just straight up has a gun, and I believe, yeah, I called him Jake the Player because, apparently player is a term for someone that just picks up a bunch of chicks. But, I forget how much damage, this gun actually did. I think it was, like, a couple thousand, because guns were overpowered. So, this guy would actually do more damage than any other boss in the game. The one caveat is that, I believe he actually had, yeah, he had an ammo count. So, I want to believe that I've used the code from this enemy to make Jennifer in FSL 1. After all, when he runs out of ammo after firing 8 shots, he actually walks backward. And tries to reload. So I believe it's this, yeah, it's this AI. He actually tries to walk backward with negative walk speed again, which, you know, doesn't work. Every time he would fire the gun, you know, it would go down 1 ammo. And, well, we can actually see how much damage it did. Wait. Hang on. Wait. Where is it? Oh! Yeah, definitely in the thousands here, so... Oh yeah, and if it... Wow, I don't remember this at all. If it hit you in the head or torso, it would do bonus damage. What an odd number. Now, some of you might be aware of this, but this map is not actually mine. This was a free modeled map. For the most part, I edited a couple things here and there, but... I unfortunately couldn't find the original map, but I did find, like... I did find a free model that I made, that was like a starter RPG kit, and this is way closer to the original, and I'm actually unsure if this was meant to be like in a medieval style or a more modern style, because there's like these tunnels over here, and this area here used to be a desert, but yeah, it was all free model. It was an entire free model. Ignoring the enemies, because I made this with the intent on being like a starter kit for someone to, you know, start with, but itself, it's kind of lazy, but it's just a free model. I remember I originally wanted there to be an escort mission kind of quest here. You would kill this like zombie mini boss here. There would be a girl trapped in a cage or some kind of a something, and there would be a pathway behind this graveyard, and she would actually pathfind and walk over to the castle, and that's where you would finish the quest. Unfortunately, I don't think I either even tried it, I don't know if I attempted it at all, or if I found it to be just impossible at the time. Either way, I'm actually kind of surprised that I still remembered that. Another thing that I added afterwards was this staircase up here, which you can barely see because the shadows really did not want to render on here. But this was like a bonus boss at the end of the game, and I remember Plasma Wish for my server made like, he found a really, really old gameplay video of Tales from like early 2013, and the point where the player like sprints up here and looks at this boss here, Plasma froze the video, added some sound, and put like an anti-piracy screen on there. So that's a really good creepypasta that he did of that. This waterfall originally didn't have an opening behind it. The original map, this was completely sealed off, which made me wonder, you know, why include an area over here if it was going to be sealed off in the first place? Like, I don't know. I don't see any other way there. Also, while I'm looking here, I just now realized, remember when I mentioned in FSL 1, I remember putting trees in the swamp area in, Sir Lawton's area, and I was like, why the trees are not there? This is what I was remembering here. I had trees and tails, not FSL 1, so, just wrong game, that's all. Now, this was something that I liked. This is a whole mining area over here. I basically created this the same way that I made the enemies, except the pickaxes that you would use this on would, the humanoid name was called Ore, and the pickaxes could only damage the ores. So, I thought that was pretty neat. So, just some useless ores, but for the most part, this was meant for gold farming. And as you can see, a glorious lava. Wait a second, is this the Dark Souls lava texture? Okay, so I've been going around the demon runes for like forever now, and I don't know if I could find that exact texture that I used. It might have been that one lava texture mod that I remember someone made because the lava here is like blindingly bright, but interesting that I used a straight up Dark Souls texture in one of my old games. Serves you right, Miyazaki, for stealing my blood rust and turning it into mode. Obviously, no hate to Miyazaki. I'm just joshing here, but I really think that this texture was pulled directly from that game. I mean, look at the style. That can't be a coincidence. But I do find it funny that the way I lit this up was with a bunch of, this is like when dynamic lighting was completely new, and I had like, these are like big point lights around here. I don't know that surface lights were a thing yet, but interesting that I tried to have some kind of lava over there, and Diamond Guard mini boss. And I don't know why I had the boss for this area over here all the way over here, which is Gaddafi, which I straight up stole from a Flash game. And I also don't know why Prologue in my server made this into a sticker, or yeah, it was a sticker. Like, I asked them, hey, why is Gaddafi a sticker in the server? And they say because he's cool. And I'm like, okay, well, f you for the pun. And also, this guy is Discount Frostano, who is already not a great character. Yes, and a boss over here named after a Skillet song, Dominion. Badass song, by the way, you should totally listen to it. Okay, obviously I didn't name it after a Skillet song. That album came out in 2022. This game I made in like freaking 2012. But when you kill him, it would actually teleport the player way over here to the storm cloud. And over here we would have a boss named Dominus, just straight up named after a Roblox hat that is worth literally 60,000 real United States dollars. Well, I definitely don't remember this. This is like a lightning honey badger, and it looks like it had some kind of a status effect on the player where they would hit the player and lightning would persist on them for a little bit. So, and yeah, also there was like gender modifiers here, because the Forsaken the Tales of the Forsaken Sword, you can actually choose gender, but all it did was alter stats a little bit, and I believe the player's death sound effect. Man, I'm glad I don't do that anymore. Moving on to kind of the end game here, we have this dark cave here, which, oh my gosh, this is so, like, impossible to see. You can't see it all, but there was a boss way up here at, like, the top here. Okay, I have to turn the brightness up. I can't see. Alright. Oh. I mean, the lighting is still not doing me any favors here, but the boss would be up there, and you kill him, and it will teleport you right over to this boss here, which would then teleport you to this boss here, and finally to, where is he? To Floating Drakus. I should really say Emperor Frector, because for some reason, first of all, I free modeled like my boss assets all those years ago. I just straight up free modeled my game assets. But yeah, he used to be called Emperor Frector. You can see he's like no different from this one here, and I think in the Tales lore, what little lore there should be, it should be Frector, because the name Drakus belongs to the rebooted games. So you would kill Drakus / Frector / I don't care anymore. It would teleport you way down here to this ritual area, which I copied almost completely over to FSL 1, with the difference being that we have an over-reflecting Forsaken sword here. Obviously, this has a different design than the rebooted games, but yeah. Now, I wanted to go into play mode for this because I remember this actually still works to this day. So you would go to the sword, and then Christina stops you, and then she starts talking your ears off. So, and it happened to turn to night as soon as, you know, that's done. But impressively, that still works to this day because it's not bogged down by filter enabled, and even this still works. You'd go over here, and it would show you actually grabbing the sword. And there was actually an outro cutscene here. So interesting. And that was the Tales of the Forsaken Sword, and I just wanted to show you real quick how the bows looked. That's a Forsaken bow, alright. Watch out, Cosmic Pendant, you got some competition. Overall, I rated 3 Miyazaki lava textures out of 5 render distance. Well, this is gonna be a short one, but this is Allaciar's act. I believe I started making this like only a few months after I finished FSL 1. This is actually just before that 2014 Christmas update for FSL 1, in fact. So, basically, this is a one boss fight kind of simulator game that was inspired by Snake Pillar. That game was made by Lando64000. He's the guy responsible for Pokemon Brick Bronze, Lumion Legacy, and I believe A Pirate's Life from way back in the day. This lore sucks. So we're gonna go ahead and touch this statue over here, and this still works. Okay, well, I mean, he was supposed to do like a roar sound there, but for some reason it's gone. Also, there would be music playing, but that music is copyrighted. And here's his iconic Rock Rain move. Oh, that is perfect timing. So essentially, this guy was kind of like my move test dummy, as I guess you could say. Like, okay, that's what that move is. So this boss is essentially, if I had like an idea for a move to put on a boss, this is the guy that I would test it out with. They got like a couple lunge attacks, some slash waves. Stop doing that one move. Come on, stop doing that one move! A spin. He did a power spin earlier, of course. He did slash wave there. And I believe he'd also do a version where he would, okay, summon minions, but it would also be one where he would spin around and shoot, like, I think about 8 of those arc waves. He also had a lightning move. He had a phase 2, which would take him back up to half health, which FSL 2 did, which I don't approve of anymore. I gave this guy a lot of moves, and I stripped that all away in FSL 2. So, as the meme put it, look how they massacred my boy. The general gameplay loop idea I had in mind was, you would hit him or he would hit you, you would collect coins, you would progressively upgrade your weapons, and, after you beat him the first time, then you would get versions of him that alter his movesets a little bit. So, one where he would have more health, but he would be slower, so that was like a tank. It was like a tank mode. Ones where he would like go hyper mode. There was a hardcore mode where if a player died, you had like shared lives of 10, and if a collective server of people die 10 times, the fight is over and you lose. And the way you would actually fight the final, most powerful form of him was you wear the Reaper armor, you equip the scythe, then you touch the statue, and you know, that would be like the true final boss. I am holding my head in shame. There was actually a gender bend of my character. On a more positive note, there was also, you know, my character over here. And you might be wondering, why do I have these in here? Well, it's actually because if you were to click this button here, the open minion shop, you would actually be able to buy minions. There are different tiers, which I believe just, yeah, they had different armors. So we have the leather armor here, this gold armor here, and then this onyx armor here. And I believe every time they'd spawn, it would randomize both the gender, the face, and the skin tone. Let's see if that's true. Gender, yeah, so randomized. Oh, no, it was, 2 different variations of a girl and 2 different variations of a boy. So, female blonde, female brunette, male blonde, male brunette. And that was the same for all 3 of these. And they actually, I believe they use the swords that you could buy in the shop as well. So you have the cutlass, the claymore, tiny claymore, that's not accurate at all, and an onyx sword. You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. I do actually want to see that version of Turbo fighting Allaciar. Speaking of the name, for some reason, like, Critical named his Roblox avatar Turbo Soggy, so I thought that was hilarious, but yeah, I forgot to restore his health, so he's... Goodbye, brothers! Gonna give that another try. This time I've given him a crap load of health, but yeah, slash waves there. In fact, actually, those 2 slash waves in the vertical one, that's exactly how he would have. That's exactly how Santa in the one update, the Christmas update, would have attacked. Also, Turbo has you know, that like blue lightning, which obviously does like massive damage to Allaciar, but it would actually heal the players. So it was beneficial to like stay near him, and he's absolutely destroying Allaciar. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's me. I'm obviously the most powerful human being on planet Earth. Beautiful. Wait. Holy What?! What?! So yeah, it turns out he has an instant kill attack they can only use in rage mode. So, lovely! Just as I got done saying it that my character is so powerful. Alright, my shameful curiosity is getting the better of me. I need to see what her moveset is. I've been sitting here for like a minute or 2 now, and Turbo 239 has been doing nothing but stabbing Allaciar in the Well, finally they got off. Oh, son of a Come on, just do something. What? Gender bend Turbo, do something, please. Anything. Wow, you suck. Wait, no, there she goes. Wow. She did 1 lunge and back to the stab. Honestly, this behind the scenes of Allaciar's act has been turning into just experimentation, but I'll mention the last thing here is that around the cacti, there was actually a little hitbox that would force any AI to jump around it, so you couldn't use these to your advantage. If anything, they were a detriment. But that's just about everything for Allaciar's act. I would rate this a lore out of Turbo 239. It's pretty good. Now, I'm gonna keep this one extremely brief, but this was simply a Allaciar versus Drakus place, and this one is actually slightly restored because it's now using the future lighting engine. I tried restoring it with some new music, and but the AI and everything, I believe, still works mostly the same. It's just, it's been fixed up a little bit. But I remember specifically someone in 2015 recorded a video that I was in, and I was like, it's not like many people are going to see this video. And guy was like, wow, that's so mean, but so true. I don't remember who showed me that, but it was, man, I was kind of a prick. And Drakus won. Except, we know Allaciar died as well. You know, funny thing is, this isn't actually completely restored because, I guess I was lazy with the code or something. I might want to eventually go back and fix it again because, once the fight is over, there's supposed to be a button in the center that you can click again. It's still there, you can see right there, but, I need to, like, actually fix the code. So, well, this is probably the most interesting find. Apparently there was a golden, like, kind of retextured sword here. I need to see this. I definitely do not remember this whatsoever, but man, I think... Ooh. This is a really good retexture. Credit where credit's due. I mean, what else do you want me to say about this game? It's just two bosses fighting. Ah, yes, and now we get to one of my absolute favorites, Epic Blox Fighter. This one was a boss gauntlet. This is, you fight every boss all in like a lot, like a sequence, and, what? Okay. So, apparently there was like a more incomplete version over here. I think I may have included this because, if I remember correctly, yes, this boss here was a reference to, one of Loaris' games, Darkness 2. The boss is just called Beast. But the gameplay loop here of this game was, you start off really weak, and, as you progress through the game, you get money just for hitting and defeating bosses, and you would upgrade your weapons, or weapon, the one and only weapon you'll be using, armor, dumb pay-to-win, shop, broken, yeah, you deserve to be broken, and a special, like, you can actually use boss special abilities in this game as well as skills, and, you would teleport there, and you can see these are all the arenas of the game. And it would start off with Jennifer, which apparently I posed these bosses. Yeah. Oh, now I remember. I was using a cutscene editor at the time, and I wanted the cutscene editor to kind of pan over these I wanted them to pan over these bosses and show like them positioned. I totally forgot about this. This is like actually really cool. I need to show off all these like poses before we move on here. So this is gonna be for FSL 1, 2, and 3, and while I was still working on 4, I was going to incorporate the FSL 4 bosses as well, but not only did that game get cancelled, but having to incorporate and completely rebalance the bosses to have the FSL 4 ones would have been a pain, because it's not like you fight all FSL 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 bosses. No, you fight FSL 1, or no, you fight the first bosses from FSL 1, 2, 3, then the second bosses from 1, 2, 3, etc, etc, etc. So adding the fourth bosses, or the FSL 4 bosses, would have been even more problematic. And also, here's Bloodrust doing trademark Moog knee heel move. Probably much anxiety was had when people found out that the final boss is both Sucard and Drakus at the same time. And Drakus no longer having that goofy face I mentioned before. Awesome. And way off separated, by the way, beautiful skybox, I know. You can actually see the corners of the skybox. But way off separated from the rest of the game were the FSL 4 arenas. So we had Son of Ali here, which... she's not even here. I don't think the other bosses are here either. No. Jarosh would have been here. Then Vermilos and Estella. I still think Estella's arena is pretty freaking cool. But yeah, that unfortunately ended up on the cutting room floor. What a shame. Now, I'm unsure if I intended players to find this, but there's actually a little secret area over here. If you squeeze through here and not touch the teleporter, you would find, I believe this gave you a decent supply of coins. Wait, no, it doesn't. Wow, I fooled myself. No, the decent supply of coins I was thinking of is actually an invisible part over top of the armor merchant stand here. And this would give you 10,000 coins. So, I don't think anyone really found this unless they were, of course, digging through the game's files. Also, I kind of stole the name Epic Blox Fighter from a Flash game called Epic Boss Fighter. Just replace boss with blocks. Doesn't really fit the theme with Forsaken Sword Legacies. If I were to rename it, it'd probably be like Forsaken Fighter. And some out of bounds stuff over here. We have what looks to be some kind of a ember red retexture of some core blocks armor here, as well as this crown of gems here. And this may have been... It looks like a different design for the king for FSL 3 before I went with a different armor. I could be complete... King Simo. Who? And to round up the video, we will be looking at EvilinBane. For some reason I left this teleporter up here. Glorious. Glorious. So, this was kind of a precursor to FSL 4. I mean, you can see with this fountain here, this was pretty much completely grandfathered into FSL 4. But this game had its own classes, like completely different, like, weapons for each class. And, I believe I named this area Avali Plains. Let's take a look. Swamp, no, 2 plains. Area GUI, text. Avali Plains, yes. And I remember why I called it Avali Plains. Remember when last video I mentioned that I was a big fan of Freedom Planet? The planet in that game is called Avalis. So, what did I do? I got rid of the is part, so I just have Avali. Galaxy Trail, please don't murder me. Remember, you couldn't jump in this game either. Let's actually look at some more out-of-bounds stuff here. This was the place of the character creator with a beautiful bear. Glorious bear texture. Glorious bear texture and animations. I'm so good. Despair Dan's Forest. There would have been some locked off areas that you would have had to kill bosses in order to get rid of. And I actually put a slightly translucent brick on top of here to slightly darken the area. And another mini boss at the end there. And this guy managed to find the GoldenEye 007 Big Head cheat code. I kind of forgot that the trees had particles around them. Wow, I actually really like that. Maybe I might have to revisit this concept for the Cosmic Pendant. Making yet another Dark Souls reference, the reason that there are these dual shield wielders here is, from a moment when PewDiePie played Dark Souls and he was fighting the Gaping Dragon, and he somehow accidentally put 2 shields on.
I have 2 shields, I don't know why.
And this is the final area for the, this game here. And there is pretty much nothing interesting to say other than maybe the lighting on floor 2 here. And also the fact that they never actually finished this mini-boss down here. Whereas pretty much every other boss and mini-boss and, enemy was finished. It's just that guy down there that was never actually finished. And as for the main bosses, you might know that I've just reworked these as mini-bosses for FSL 4. Because I thought they were a little bit too cool to just leave, leave to rot in this game. But they actually had more moves in this game than they did in FSL 4. Like, Very Lean had like a lengthy spin attack, and the Tisco over here would jump flip into the air and perform an AoE, and he would also summon like 3 rogues from around the arena. Gritg, which, by the way, the name Gritg, I believe I got that name from a Vine Sauce corruption because Vinny was typing some garbage into, like, a character, like, a name creator when he was corrupting, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. So that's where I got the name Grinchy from. I think it's a cool name. But yes, I put him in an ice area because it's funny. And also this guy had a phase 2 where he would pop out the spikes of his club. He also did like a lightning move. Very, very similar to Estella's Frosticle. And we have Drakus over here, who did a massive lightning laser. He would do the fire rain, he would do the block attack, or if you hit him while he's blocking, he would follow up with like fireballs and other moves that I'm forgetting right now, like a flurry of him running back and forth between shooting a projectile and then running towards the player and performing an AoE, like a ground slam AoE. Man, I think the boss fights in this game were quite a step up from the other games that I was working on at the time. But, you know, this game never saw the light of day either, because I went to go make, attempt to make FSL 4. And then, a bunch of crap was happening in my life. I left, but now I'm back, and, I think it's good to be back. But I also just like looking back at the games that I made so long ago, and just to show how much of I've improved since then. If you stuck around for this long, thank you. It means a lot, but I can't guarantee that I'll record another video like this, because I don't really have any other games to talk about, and I'd prefer not to bring up FSL 4. But until next time, take care.